Lola Berry here. I am rapt to be partaking in Kin's 3rd annual Christmas cookie collab. Basically, different creators create different recipes each day, and today it's my turn. And you can check out the Kin playlist because there'll be heaps of other creators doing recipes as well. This recipe I'm so pumped about, not just because you know, it's a Christmas recipe and it's exciting, but I taste tested it and recipe tested it last night, and I literally had like 10 of these. They're that delicious. They're vegan, they're raw, they're gluten-free, they're dairy-free, they're refined sugar-free, so they're really good if you want a healthy alternative. It's so easy, so we'll get started. All you need, there's no cooking involved, all you need is a bowl. I'm gonna start by throwing in almond meal. Now this isn't the blanched almond meal, this is just regular natural almond meal. So going in there with the almond meal. In the recipe I tested last night, I didn't use cacao nibs, but I thought, good thing about adding cacao nibs, so it's just like raw, like chocolate nibs, is it just adds crunch and it's a bit of a kind of like bitter power pop of flavor. Totally optional though. It's not super Christmassy, the cacao, but it's, I don't know, I like it, gives it a little bit of texture and crunch. We don't need them yet. I'm going in here with almond butter as well, so that's just natural raw almond butter. If you don't like almond butter, totally you can use peanut butter. We're going in here with 2 heaped tablespoons, and that's gonna help everything kind of stick together. I reckon this recipe, after testing it last night, will be really good with macadamia nut butter too. Then we're going in here now, gets the Christmassy spices with a little pinch of, just a little pinch of cinnamon. And I am lucky enough to own gingerbread spice. So I'm gonna tell you what's in it so that if you can't find gingerbread spice, you can make it work at home. So the cinnamon, which you've seen me, this has ground coriander, star anise, ginger, and nutmeg. But if you did ginger, cinnamon, and nutmeg, I reckon you'd be laughing, but this literally smells like a gingerbread man. So I just put a heap, kind of like a heaped pinch in there, probably end up being about half a teaspoon, I'd say. Delish, and you can use this in like, if you can get a hold of gingerbread spice, it's really yummy in oats, porridge, you name it, smoothies. To sweeten this, we're going with maple syrup. So it'll be about 2 tablespoons going in there, because not too much, that's probably only about 1, but not too much because I'm using dates. So these are medjool dates. The reason why I'm using medjool dates, I'll show you, is this. They're kind of like oozy and caramelly, and so they're gonna be really good at sticking this recipe together. However, they have pips in them, so I'm about to de-pip, and I just chop them up really kind of like roughly. Now, you could totally do this recipe in a blender if you wanted to. I mean, well, not a blender, a food processor. I think it might be a bit chunky for a blender, but you could definitely do it in a food processor. I like them rustic though, and I like the little hunks of dates and whatnot in my creation. So I'm kind of down with it being, I call it rustic. And I mean, it's the holiday season, you want to mix it up. So there you go. So we're going in with about almost a cup of dates, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not, when a cup of dates is probably like 6 dates, if I'm honest. Be careful though, if you can't find these medjool dates, you want to then go to the supermarket and get whatever dried date you can, but they're going to be way drier than this, so try soaking them in some water or some kind of like apple juice. They're really yummy when they're soaked in, and that's going to help them plump up, even if it's just for like half an hour before you do this recipe, because we're using the dates kind of like glue. So I've nearly chopped all my dates up, and they're really good ones. These ones are organic as well. Everything we've got going into this recipe is totally organic. Normally at this stage of the game when I'm making something like this, people are like, I don't like dates, what can I use in the place of dates? You could use figs, it'd change the flavour. You could use dried bananas. You know, you got to make this work for you. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I need a pinch of salt, which I'm going to steal from the girls over here, so pause. Just going to go in with the slightest little pinch of salt, like a tiny amount. Just kind of, salt makes sweet stuff delish. Okay, then all you got to do is, it kind of looks like I guess a bit of a dog's breakfast at this stage, but you just want to get in there, a bit of elbow grease, and just mix it together. This is the stage where I tweak all the ingredients. If I want it to be, you know, a bit drier, I'll add almond meal. If it feels like it's too dry and it needs more like stickiness, I might go in there with some almond milk or maple, but I generally try not to add too much extra sweetness. So for example here, you can see where he is right now. We're gonna add a tiny bit more almond meal because I want it to really stick together nicely and not be uber sticky. You could totally have it at the stage it is now though. Just get the board out of the way because I'm slipping a bit. The reason why I like this Christmas recipe is because it literally tastes like gingerbread, which is one of my favorite treats in the entire world, but it's guilt-free, it's clean, it's really high in potassium for heart health. It's also really high in like fiber, magnesium. It's just a good little pick-me-up, and it stops you opening the Tim Tam drawer at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Good one to take to a party too. So we're nearly there. This is like almost at ball rolling consistency. If you did this in a food processor, it would look totally different to this. It'd look much more finer and kind of like pulverized. But I like it like this. I like it hunky. And last night when I was recipe testing these on Dad, he goes, "Oh, I've just brushed my teeth. I don't know if I..." And I'm like, "Well, you don't have to have one, mate." He loved it, came back for more, and then brushed his teeth again. Sorted, mate. Didn't even need to worry. All right, there you go. That's your mixture. All we've got to do now is roll. I've got a little cute red Christmas plate because this is a Christmas recipe. And all you do is just grab a little hunk, like, I don't know, like a really small kind of golf ball size. You could 100% roll these in almond meal, coconut oil, whatever you want. But to be honest, I think they look really cute like that. You could also add goji berries to make them look red and Christmassy, or cranberries, but I love them like this. I love the flavor of them like this. You can store these in the fridge or the freezer. They will literally last for months. However, in my household, I'm sure they will last for a couple of days. They're so good. But yeah, they're really easy to make. They're delicious. They make a really good prezzy as well, which I love for Chrissy. So you can make a big batch and give him as a gift. So yeah, that's your recipe. I feel like I'm gonna cough. So that's your recipe. Simple as. If you like it, check out the other kin holiday cookie collab creators. I'm sure there's lots of other awesome, maybe not as clean as this, probably a bit naughtier, but delicious recipes. Check them out below as well. And yeah, my name's Lola. I'm a nutritionist, yogi, food nerd, and this is my take on a healthy gingerbread cookie ball. And it's raw, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and delicious.